Most people think the secret to having a conversation in Portuguese is understanding every word, but that's actually what holds you back because we speak in sounds, not in words. Se faz favor can become se favor. So I'm going to show you how to stop freezing and keep the conversation going even when you don't catch everything. So what usually happens is you're doing your best to understand what the person in front of you is saying. You're fine for 2 seconds, then you miss one thing, and your face does that polite smile, but inside you freeze. You go silent instead of signaling you're lost. And later you replay it in your head thinking, why didn't I say something? I do know Portuguese. This is incredibly common, and the fix isn't learn more vocabulary. It's a listening shift. What's really going on is that you're trying to listen to Portuguese like it's written, word by word. And that's precisely the trap. Trying to catch every single word in a conversation is basically madness. Because in real life, we don't speak in clearly pronounced individual words. We speak in sounds. And in European Portuguese especially, those sounds get crushed together. Vowels reduce. Words glue themselves to the next word, and the whole sentence becomes one continuous stream where you don't even know where one word ends and the next begins. So if you're waiting to understand every word before you keep going, it's like getting thrown off a train that's still moving. And the idea isn't to stop the train. It's to learn how to hop back on quickly. In order to prepare for these situations, the most important listening skill you need to develop is your tolerance to ambiguity, the skill of not falling apart over one missing word. In other words, you need to be able to not understand something and stay present anyway. Because the moment you miss one word, your brain wants to do something very human. It wants to pause the conversation in your head and go, wait, what was that word? I remember hearing it somewhere. But the conversation doesn't pause. So while you're mentally replaying one missing word, you miss the next sentence too. That's when you freeze and go silent. The problem is we might not pick up on the fact that you are lost, especially if you keep smiling to compensate. So here's what you can practice instead. I didn't hear that word. And instead of panicking, you go, okay, just keep going. Not because you don't care, but because a lot of the times the word comes up again. Or the person says it in a different way, or the next sentence explains it. But you only benefit from that if you stay on the train. Another thing you can do is slow things down, politely of course, because sometimes you miss something important, especially with the electrician, the plumber, or the internet guy. And if you've ever had someone in your house saying a fast sentence and you're thinking, I have no idea what I just agreed to, well, that does matter. So in those moments, you're allowed to slow the conversation down. And you don't have to say, pode falar mais devagar, por favor. Instead, there is a way you can slow it down naturally without being rude. Just repeat what you did catch as if it were a question. So you take the part you understood and you throw it back with question intonation. And here's the key. In shops, it's usually one keyword. With tradespeople, it's usually time, price, or decision. For example, imagine you only catch amanhã, or de manhã, or multibanco, or troca. You can just say amanhã, de manhã, or multibanco, or troca. What this does is really, really powerful. It signals, I'm with you, but I missed something. And it buys you time while they naturally repeat or rephrase. And the best part is, you didn't switch to English. You didn't disappear. You kept the conversation moving at a speed your brain can actually handle. That's you hopping back onto the train. Now, do you need to practice this for the first time while someone is waiting for your card payment? Or while a tradesperson is standing in your hallway? Of course not. You practice this at home with recorded Portuguese. And here's the rule. Don't turn on subtitles. I know, it's uncomfortable, but that discomfort is the point. You're training your ability to stay calm inside the ambiguity. Pick something short. Listen, Miss things? Just keep going. Your only job is don't pause to solve every word. And because it's recorded, you also get a superpower you don't get in real life. You can rewind. One of my unschoolers started watching a soap opera without subtitles, and by introducing a small change, rewinding short bits, she was able to enjoy the show even more. Simple, right? But it changes everything. Why does this change everything in real life? Because in real life, when you're not prepared, adrenaline kicks in. Your brain gets tight and you go into survival mode. But if you've trained this at home, if you've trained staying present even when you don't understand, real conversations start to feel completely different. You might be surprised by how calm you are at an appointment, or how you can handle a fast reply from a shop assistant without your mind going blank. And one day you'll notice something huge. You're not trying to catch words anymore. You're hearing the sounds, and your brain is starting to turn those sounds into meaning automatically. And that's when you say you understand every word. Now, if you want a safe place to practice your tolerance to ambiguity, my mini-took is a free sample of the native content my unschoolers have access to. The link is below. And just remember, European Portuguese isn't a word-by-word language in real life. It's a moving train of sound. Your job isn't to understand everything. Your job is to stay on board and hop back on fast when you slip.